Hi guys, this is Camille from the Moreno Valley Public Library. We're located at the mall, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make a duct tape wallet today. For this wallet, we're just going to need a few supplies. You need duct tape, just 2 colors, so I'm going to use checkered and cupcakes today. You're going to need scissors or an X-Acto knife if you have a cutting mat, and a ruler. Any kind of ruler with inches is what we'll be using. Our first step with this wallet is to pick your major and minor color. For this one, I'm going to use the cupcakes as my major color, and this will be my minor color. If you want an example of how that'll look, this is one I've already finished. This is the wallet we're going to be making today. This is our major color. I used whales on this one, and my minor color is actually just the edges here. So I used black on this one. So it's the edges, the inside is all your minor color. It won't show very much, it's just a trim. So for this one, I'm going to do cupcakes instead of whales. I'm going to do black and white instead of black. And so this is what we're making. It has 4 slots for cards in it. It has 2 hidden pockets here on the sides, one here and one here, and it has an opening for money. Okay, so to start off, we're actually going to take 2 8-inch pieces of each color. And I actually just stick my pieces straight to the table. They come off pretty well. Duct tape sticks really well, but it actually is pretty easy to peel off. You just don't want to stick the sticky sides to each other. That really doesn't come undone. So we're going to start with 2 8-inch pieces of each color. Okay, so I've got my 2 8-inch pieces of the cupcakes and 2 8-inch pieces of the checkered. What I do is I just put the tape measure right here, pull out my tape to about 8 inches, and then just cut the tape. It doesn't have to be exact. We'll cut and make it perfect at the end. If you do over or underestimate, make sure you're overestimating. It would be better to have like 8 1/4 or 8 1/2 rather than a little bit less. And all the edges that are kind of sideways, we're going to end up cutting off. So I usually estimate about 8 1/4 or 8 1/2 just to make sure I have enough. Our next step is we're going to peel off one of our major colors and put it upside down. So the sticky side is up. And then we're going to do the same thing with our minor color. Well, kind of. We're going to peel up our minor color. And then we're actually just going to stick it right on top of our major color. As close to even as you can get it. Stick it right on top. And then again, they won't overlap perfect, so that's where that cutting comes in. We'll cut the edges to make them line up just right. Alright, and next we're going to peel up our minor color, and we're going to lay it on top of our other minor color, and we're going to try to make it about 3 inches tall, like this. So I like to lay the tape measure right next to my project. I'm going to peel up the other minor color, and then you want to layer it just so that it goes all the way up to about 3 inches tall. See, I can get it right. This one comes off pretty easy, so don't worry if it's not perfect. You can just do it again. Make sure it's right. Get about 3 inches. Try to make it even, and you're going to stick it down. Okay, and then to make sure it's about 3 inches, mine's pretty good, then we're going to flip it over So the sticky side's up again. And we're going to take our major color, put it on top, but instead of putting it directly on top now, we want it to be about a 1/4 inch over the top here. So right above this spot, we want it to be about a 1/4 inch over, so we can fold it over. So this one, we're doing sticky side to sticky side, so be pretty careful about that. So I'm just going to do that there. That. Then we've got about a 1/4 inch on this side extra, the sticky side, and you want to just fold that over the top. Right over like that. So just like that. All right, for our next step, we're going to be making the hidden pockets. So you want your major color up, and you want this part where you overlapped it, you want that to be on the bottom, facing you. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out 2 4-inch strips of each color. So we want 2 4-inch strips of our minor color and 2 4-inch strips of our major color. Okay, so I've got my 4-inch strips of my tapes. Before we get started on the hidden pockets, it's actually a good idea to make sure your wallet's actually about 8 inches and to straighten your edges as best as you can. So I cut off a little bit of my edges and I got rid of the parts that overlapped, like the tape that was still sticky. So definitely do that before you start on your pockets. Okay, so set this aside. Again, you want your major color facing up, but we'll do that in a little bit. First, we want to take, just like we did at the beginning actually, we're going to take one of the colors. It doesn't really matter for this first step. You can just take either one. I'm just going to start with my minor. And I put it upside down, so the sticky side is up, facing up. Sticks to my fingers in a second. And then you want to take your major color. You want to take your major color and you want to stick it right on top of the other color, just as close as you can possibly get it to be even. And again, it's, you know, we didn't cut it perfect, so it's not going to overlap perfectly. Really, we're worrying about the top and bottom edges that we want to be as best as possible. So put that right there. Smooth that one down. Okay. And you want your minor color up now, and you want to make it 3 inches again. So I'm going to pull my other minor color up, and I'm going to put it on top of this strip, make it about 3 inches again. Oops, here we are. Okay, so that's about 3 there. And place this one on top. So altogether it's about 3 inches. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm pulling this off. Got some sticky on the top. You want to take your major color, put it on top, and leave about a 1/4 inch on the top again, so we can fold it over. This, put it on top, make sure you leave about a 1/4 inch up above, down, and you're left with about a 1/4 inch on the top. So now we're coming back to our main wallet. We're going to be putting, it'll be easier this way for you guys. We're going to be putting this on top, just like this. So the major color will be on top of the major color. And we're going to be folding it over the edge, like this, to bleed into our other major color over here. But first, we want to make sure we can actually fold the wallet in half. So when your wallet is in half like this, you want to make sure this can fit in. So see, mine is way too long. So I'm going to cut off probably about 1/2 inch here. But I'm also going to cut off a little bit on this side. So we'll just make sure it's about the right size to fit in half the wallet. Okay, so I cut that out and I'm left with it about half. I'm going to put it on top of my wallet like this. The sticky side's going to be on the same side where we folded this edge over with our major color. So I'm going to put that on top, line it up. I'm going to have a little bit of sticky over the edge here. I'm going to line it right at the edge if you can. And then you want to fold it over. Right on top of the other one. Okay, so now I've got this, and it kind of flaps off the edge. And if it goes a little bit too tall, like mine goes a little bit over the edge here, you can just cut that off. But just make sure you can fold it in half. And then we're actually going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side. So you can just do it the exact same way on the other side. Okay, so if you followed the instructions for the other side, you've got 2 flaps now, and they're stuck on the other side, just on top of the major color over here. So these are both going to be our hidden pockets. Our next step is our credit card or gift card, whatever, holders. So for that, I put in 4 pockets. On my whale one, I've got the 4 pockets, 2 for each side. You could do 1 for each side, and you could probably even fit 3 for each side. In this tutorial, and just my personal preference, is 2 pockets for each side. So for that, I'm going to cut 4 4-inch strips of each color, so the major and the minor color. If you wanted more or less pockets, you could do more or less strips. However many pockets you want, that's how many strips you need. So for this one, we're going to do 4 4-inch strips of each color. Okay, so once you have 4 pieces of 4-inch strips of each, we're actually just going to peel them up, and we're going to stick the opposite colors together. So your major and minor colors will be back to back. We're going to do that for all 4 of them. So for this one, putting my minor color up, so the sticky side's up, and I'm going to put this major color on top as close to even as I can possibly get. Okay, and I'm just going to do that for all 4 of them. Okay, so now you should have 4 roughly 4-inch strips that are your minor color on one side and your major color on the other. These are all these. These are your pockets. So we're going to add a little trim to the edge of our pockets, like in this one. So we have a little bit of trim on the edge just to make it look nice. So we need 2 4-inch strips of your minor color. So I'm going to make 2 4-inch strips of my checkered color. Okay, so you should have your 2 4-inch strips of your minor color, and we're actually going to be cutting these in half. So I'm going to peel it up, and it really doesn't have to be exact. If you have an X-Acto knife, this is a little easier, but what I do is I just make a little nick about half, and then I just peel it, pull it in half. And it really doesn't have to be exact. It's not a big deal. So you want to do that with both of them, actually. So got this one, and then I'm going to do the same with this one. And you just want to cut them in half. I'm going to do a little something on this side. And then I'm going to peel it in half. Okay. And then since I peeled it, there's one edge that's a little bit coarser, and then there's one that's very smooth. It was from the actual duct tape. So you want to grab your pockets, you want the major color up facing you. So I'm going to have my cupcakes up, and I'm going to take one of these strips and I'm going to overlap it. And you can do however much you want. I try to do just a little bit, just to have it over the edge just a little bit. And then you can look at it, see if you like it, kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like once it's all down, which I like that. I've got about one checker per thing. So since I like it, I'm going to fold it over on the other side. And this is just to create kind of an edge, like an interesting look for the wallet. So I've got a little checkered edge on all my little cupcakes. And I'm going to do that to all 4 of these pieces. So I've got 4 strips. I'm going to put them on each of my pockets. Alright, so I've got my pockets, and they all have their trimmings on the top. My next step is just to cut them to the correct size. So this part that opens, the flap, is actually going to open, and this will be the bottom where it opens up. So my pockets are going to go this way, and it's huge. So it should actually be about the same size, or actually exactly the same size as this. So I need to cut off quite a bit. So I'm going to cut off a little bit on each side on all my pockets so they fit the exact same size as my little hidden pocket. So I'm going to cut off the edges. I now have pockets that fit just right on top of my hidden pockets. I cut them all so the edges line up perfect. And now I want to cut 2 4-inch strips of my major color. So I'm going to cut 2 4-inch strips of my cupcakes. And again, after I've got my 2 4-inch strips, I'm going to cut them in half, just like we did with our minor color. So now I've got 4 4-inch strips, and they're half strips, so they're thinner. What we want to do now is we're going to actually attach the pockets. So again, you want the flap to flap up like this. This is the bottom here. And we're going to put on our pockets, 2 on each side. You want to make the bottom one all the way at the bottom, and then make the top one a little bit above so that you're able to fit a library card or credit card or any kind of card in there, and so it can pop up at the top. So I always suggest using a card to make sure it'll be able to fit in there. Like, I wouldn't really want mine further down than this because I want to be able to fit my card in there. So whenever you find out where you want to place your pockets, you want to just use one of your major strips. You're going to pull out the card. You want to put this one down first, not the one that goes on the bottom, but I do want to make sure the bottom one will fit and look nice. Okay, so I'm deciding to put this one down here, so there's just a little bit up here for the card to fit. I'm going to make sure it lines up on the edges. I'm going to take one of my major strips, and I'm going to just stick it on. It doesn't matter how much. I'm just going to do about half and half. Half on the pocket, half on the hidden pocket. And I just stuck that pocket on there. And then again, it's overlapping. So I'm just going to cut off the edge on both sides. So I got a little bit here. I'm just going to cut that off. I got a little bit here. I'm just going to cut that off. And I've got one of my pockets in. And I want 2 on each side. And I'm going to use these 2. On this side, you can choose what you want to do. And then again, I'm going to place this one so it goes all the way to the bottom of the wallet right here. And then I'm going to take my major color, going to line it up just right. Take my major strip, thin one, and I'm going to place about half over and half left. Put it right about there. And then again, I've got some extra, so I'm gonna peel it up and make sure it's actually even. And I don't have any extra tape. So I'm gonna line it up again on this side so I can see the tape, and I'm gonna just cut off the excess, which I have kind of a lot, which is fine. Got a little bit here, got a little bit here, and then go line it up again on the bottom, and this is actually going to close the bottom of the wallet. So you want this tape, this extra, to flip all the way over here. So then we've got our actual pocket. So make sure it's lined up just right, and then you want to flip that tape over. Okay, so if you did it right, you've got 2 pockets, and then you've actually got your hidden pocket set up. Don't worry about them flapping, they are not totally done yet. So we'll make sure they look just right. If you like it, then just do the other side the exact same way. I like to line up the other side the same way with this, but you could do it higher or lower. You could do whatever you want, or you could do 1 pocket on this side, 3 pockets on this side. You can do it however you want. I just like mine to be symmetrical. So we're going to work on the other side now. For our next step, we've got our pockets in. We want to seal them down so they don't flap. We're going to put a strip right down the center here. And yeah, we're still folding. So for this step, we want to do 1 3-inch piece of our major color. And then we're going to cut it in half again. So now you've got your 2 3-inch strips of your major color. You just needed to cut out the 1 and then just cut it in half. So you've got 2 now. Something a little bit difficult for this step is we're going to have to take the bottom, make sure you've got the bottom, and you want to peel it up. Just for right now, we're going to put it right back down. You just have to peel this up. Just for right now. Make sure it's the bottom of your wallet and not the top of your wallet. The top actually has 2 layers, so it would be harder to peel up. Luckily, duct tape sticks really well even after you've unstuck it from something. That's a good reason to use it for these wallets. Pretty sturdy. Okay, you want to flip it back over. Make sure these are still unstuck. You can just kind of leave them up like this. Then you want to take one of your strips, either one, and you want to layer it just about a 1/4 inch, just a little bit, over one of the sides. Make sure it lines up with the top. Right here. Okay, so I lined it up right here with this side, and the reason we peeled up the strip is so we can peel this whole thing up. This is our hidden pocket that I just put it on, and we're actually just going to fold it right over into our hidden pocket, so you won't see it, but it's holding down these pockets now. So we got one side done. You can barely see it, but it's this strip right here. And then we can actually flip this back over, and the side we just finished, we can fold it back over to hold it in. Okay, and then we're just going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So you want to take your major color, just do about a 1/4 inch over, just a little bit. Line it up with the top. And then you can peel this whole thing up and then fold it over into the pocket. Then pull it back down and fold it back over where we peeled it up. We're just going to fold it back to that spot right there. So now we've got our hidden pocket, and our pockets are stable other than this side right here. But they are pushed down on this side because of the strip we just put in. For our next step, after we've got our pockets down, we are going to be making the outside. So this is actually the inside of our wallet. and we need the pocket that's going to be here that holds the money and the outside of our wallet. So we've got the inside done, and we just need to make the outside. So for this step, we're going to take 2 8-inch strips of our minor color and 2 9-inch strips of our major color. So I've done one so far, but I just wanted to mention that you want to make sure this one's exactly the same as your wallet length. So you actually want it to be as close to 8 as possible. Usually you can do a little bit extra just in case, but this one you want to do it as close to the actual length of your wallet as you can possibly do. For the major colors, that is 9 inches. These can be a little less exact. They don't have to be exactly 9 inches. The 8-inch ones are a little more strict this time. The 9-inch ones can still be a little bit longer because we can trim them. So our next step is to take our minor colors. We're going to peel one of them up, and then we're going to overlap them so they're 3 inches tall. So we're going to start here at the bottom, and we want to overlap just enough so that this whole strip is going to be 3 inches tall, just like we did at the beginning. If your strip did end up being a little bit long, you could just trim it at this stage. So you just make sure it's the right length at this stage. And now you want to pick up this whole strip, make sure it sticks together. Pick up this whole strip and flip it over. So we're going to have one big 8-inch by 3-inch strip of duct tape, and you want it to be face up so the sticky side is up. Just a little tough. Okay. So we're going to take these 9-inch strips and we're going to overlap on the bottom, and we want about 1/2 inch on the bottom, the left side, and the right side. Just about 1/2 inch. It's perfect. So this should be about equal to here, and this should be about 1/2 inch. Okay, so put that down. Okay, and then we're going to put this one on, and we want 1/2 inch again on the left and right sides, but we want only about 1/4 inch on the top. It doesn't have to be as long. It can be 1/2 inch. It's not too strict, but it doesn't need to be this time. It can just be about 1/4 inch. Okay, so now we've got this strip. We're going to peel it all the way up again. And then this 1/4 inch on the top, we just want to fold over to make a neat little edge. It really doesn't matter too much how thick that one is. Could have been 1/2 inch, that would have been fine. It's just going to be the inside of our wallet. Okay, so make sure that's all smoothed down. And then you want to make sure your edges are nice and straight. They should be about 1/2 inch. So they can be about 1/2 inch, and that's good to have that extra. But I'm actually going to make them about this long, which I believe is about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to cut my edges so they're just about that long and as straight as possible, because these edges will actually show. We'll see them on the wallet. So you just want to cut that. I'm doing about this much on each side. It'll overlap, so you can do about 1/2 inch if you want. I'm going to do a little bit less. about 1/4 inch, I think. Okay, so once you have that all cut out, so it's nice and neat and seems straight to you on both sides, we just want to cut out the corners here. So we're going to do a little cut on one side and then a little cut on the other side. We've got a little corner cut out. And you just want to do that on these 2 bottom sides. A little on the bottom edge, a little on the top edge here. So we've got about a little corner cut out. Alright. Take our little edge, put it in the scrap pile. And then we also want to cut out, so we overlapped here, so there's a little bit here that's not sticky. We want to cut that part out too. So just a little bit here, and then just cut out that part that's not sticky, just on that top corner. So I made a little corner again, just a tiny corner right here where that wasn't sticky, because that just won't stick to anything, so it won't help us in our wallet finishing it up. Alright, so for kind of our last step, we're going to have this edge facing us, and then we're going to take the bottom of the wallet facing us. Remember, the bottom of the wallet is the bottom of your pockets. So you have your pockets here, this is the top, this will be the bottom of your wallet. You want it facing you. You're going to line it up at the top right here. You want to line it like that. And then you want to take all your edges, all these sticky parts, and just flip them over. We're going to be sealing our wallet together. And see, I like it a little bit shorter because it doesn't overlap as much, which I like. So I'm going to overlap here, going to overlap here, and then I'm going to overlap on the bottom as well. Just like that. All right. So now we've got our wallet. This is the front now. The inside, we've got our pocket for our money. The only thing we have left to do is to open up these edges. So we kind of covered this a little bit so the card might not fit in. So we're just going to cut little slits right at the edges here, also in our secret pocket on the side. So after you cut all your little slits, so I cut the edges here, kind of here, and then I cut a little bit here at the bottom to open up my pockets, you're done with your wallet. So you've got your wallet, you've got 4 credit card or card holders, you've got 2 secret pockets, and a slot for money. And if yours has trouble closing, kind of like mine does, doesn't really stay closed, just put it under something heavy for a night or so, and it'll stay shut. And now you've got the card spaces for 4 different cards, and you can actually put your cards in the secret pockets if you want, and you've got a money holder. So good job on making your wallet.